I woke up to silence. No coffee brewing, no humming from the bathroom. I called out Claire. Nothing. I checked the clocks, even 12 a.m. She was always up before me. I walked into the kitchen. Her mug was gone. Her keys were gone. I opened the closet. Her suitcase was missing. My heart started pounding. I grabbed my phone and dialed her number. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. I texted her. Where are you? No reply. I checked our bank app. My hands shook as I logged in. Balance. 0. Every account. Every card. Empty. I stared at the screen. No, this can't be right. I called her again. Voicemail. I called her best friend, Sophie. Hey, Sophie, have you seen Claire? She sounded confused. No, not since last week. Is everything okay? She's gone. She took everything. She's not answering. Sophie was quiet. I'm sure there's an explanation. I almost laughed. Yeah, like what? She hesitated. Maybe she just needed space. I hung up. I called Emily, my sister. Em, I need you. She answered right away. What's wrong? Claire's gone. She took all the money. I don't know what to do. Emily's voice was steady. I'm coming over. Don't do anything stupid. I sat on the couch, staring at the door. My mind raced. Was this a joke? A test? I checked the bedroom again. Her clothes were gone. Her jewelry box was empty. Even her favorite book was missing. Emily arrived in 20 minutes. She hugged me tight. Tell me everything. I tried to explain. I woke up. She was gone. She took everything. She's not answering. Emily looked around. Did you fight? No, we were fine. We made dinner last night. We watched TV. She kissed me goodnight. Emily frowned. Did she leave a note? I shook my head. Nothing. She sat beside me. We need to call the police. I hesitated. What if she just needed a break? Emily's eyes were sharp. People don't empty bank accounts for a break. I nodded. You're right. We drove to the police station. I tried to keep my hands from shaking. Officer Ramirez met us at the desk. How can I help you? I swallowed. My wife is missing. She took all our money. I don't know where she is. He took notes. When did you last see her? Last night. Around 10. Any signs of struggle? Any threats? No, nothing. He asked for a photo. I handed him one from my phone. He nodded. We'll file a missing person report. But if she left on her own, there's not much we can do. Emily spoke up. She took everything. That's not normal. Officer Ramirez looked at me. Do you have any idea where she might go? I shook my head. No. She never mentioned leaving. We had plans. We were saving for a house. He handed me a card. If you hear from her, call us. We'll keep an eye out. We left the station. Emily drove. I stared out the window, numb. Back at my apartment, I sat on the floor. Emily made tea. She handed me a cup. You need to eat something. I shook my head. I can't. I just want to know why. She sat beside me. You didn't see this coming. I thought about it. No, she was happy. Or she seemed happy. Emily sighed. People can hide a lot. I stared at the wall. What do I do now? She squeezed my shoulder. You survive. One day at a time. I nodded, but I didn't believe it. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, I answered. Silence, then a click. I called Claire again. Voicemail. I scrolled through our old texts. Jokes, plans, I love yous. All lies. Emily watched me. You're not alone, Daniel. I'm here. I tried to smile. Thanks, Em. She hugged me again. We'll get through this. I wanted to believe her, but all I felt was empty. I lay on the couch that night, staring at the ceiling. I kept waiting for the door to open, for Claire to walk in and say it was all a mistake. But the door stayed closed, and I was left with nothing but questions. I woke up on the couch, stiff and cold. Emily was already in the kitchen, making coffee. She handed me a mug. You need to eat something. I shook my head. I'm not hungry. She sat across from me. You can't keep doing this, Daniel. You have to go to work. I stared at the table. I can't focus. I can't think about anything but her. Emily sighed. You can't let her destroy you. She's already taken enough. I nodded, but I didn't move. My phone buzzed. It was my boss, Mr. Grant. I answered, trying to sound normal. Hello. He sounded concerned. Daniel, you missed your shift. Is everything all right? I hesitated. My wife left. She took everything. I'm sorry. He was quiet for a moment. Take a few days, but let me know if you need anything. Thank you, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. After I hung up, Emily looked at me. You need to check your accounts again. Maybe she left something. I opened my laptop. Every account was still empty. I checked the credit cards. Maxed out. I felt sick. Emily put a hand on my arm. We'll figure it out. I'll help with groceries. You can stay with me if you need to. I shook my head. I can't believe she did this. I thought I knew her. Emily's voice was gentle. People change. Or maybe they just show who they really are. I spent the day searching for Claire online. I checked her social media. Deleted. I called her old friends. No one had seen her. I called Sophie again. Are you sure you haven't heard from Claire? She sounded nervous. No, Daniel, I swear. She hasn't called me, I pressed. If you hear anything, please, let me know. She promised she would, but I didn't believe her. That night, I found a note in the back of Claire's closet. It was short. Daniel, I'm sorry. I needed more. Don't look for me. I stared at the words. I read them over and over. I crumpled the note and threw it across the room. Emily came in. What was that? I handed her the note. She read it, then shook her head. That's cold. I sat on the bed. Was I not enough? Emily sat beside me. This isn't about you. It's about her. I buried my face in my hands. I feel like a fool. She hugged me. You're not. You loved her. That's not a crime. I tried to sleep, but my mind wouldn't stop. I kept replaying every conversation, every moment, looking for signs. The next morning, I checked my phone. No new messages. No calls. I forced myself to shower and get dressed. I went to the store with Emily. She paid for everything. I hated it, but I had no choice. At home, I sat at the kitchen table, staring at bills I couldn't pay. Emily made lunch. You need to talk to someone. A therapist, maybe. I shook my head. I just need answers. She sighed. You might never get them. I looked at her. How do I move on? She smiled sadly. One step at a time. That night, I got a call from Officer Ramirez. Any news? I asked. He said no leads yet. We'll keep looking, but if she left on her own, there's not much we can do. I thanked him and hung up. I sat in the dark, listening to the hum of the fridge. I felt like I was disappearing, piece by piece. Emily came in and sat beside me. You're not alone, Daniel. I'm here. I nodded. Thanks, Em. She squeezed my hand. We'll get through this. I promise. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But all I felt was empty. A few weeks passed. I was barely holding it together. I spent my days searching for jobs, my nights staring at the ceiling. Emily checked in every day. She brought groceries, made sure I ate, and tried to get me out of the apartment. One afternoon, the mail carrier knocked. Package for Daniel Harper. I signed for it, confused. The envelope was thick, expensive. My name was written in gold script. I opened it and felt my stomach drop. It was a wedding invitation. Claire Harper and Marcus Reed request the honor of your presence at their wedding. I stared at the card, reading it over and over. The date was in 2 weeks. The venue was a fancy hotel across town. Emily walked in. What's that? I handed her the invitation. She read it, her eyes wide. Is this a joke? I shook my head. It's real. She's getting married. Emily's voice was sharp, after everything she did. She has the nerve to invite you. I sat down hard. Why would she do this? Is she trying to hurt me? Emily frowned. Maybe she wants to show off. Or maybe she wants you to see she's moved on. I stared at the card. I don't understand. She emptied our account. She disappeared. Now she's marrying someone else. Emily put a hand on my shoulder. Don't go, Daniel. You don't owe her anything. I shook my head. I need answers. I need to see her face. Emily sighed. You think you'll get closure from this? I looked at her. I don't know, but I can't just ignore it. She sat beside me. Promise me you'll be careful. I nodded. I promise. That night, I lay awake, the invitation on my nightstand. One kept reading her new name. Claire read. It didn't feel real. I texted Sophie. Did you know about this? She replied, No. I'm sorry, Daniel. I had no idea. I didn't believe her. I searched Marcus Reed online. He was some kind of tech entrepreneur. Rich, good-looking. The kind of guy Claire always said was out of our league. I wondered if he knew what she'd done to me. Emily came in with tea. You're really going, aren't you? I nodded. I have to. She squeezed my hand. Just remember who you are. Don't let her break you again. I tried to smile. I'll be fine, but I wasn't sure. The night before the wedding, I stood in front of the mirror, holding the invitation. I practiced what I'd say if I saw her. I wanted to sound strong, but all I felt was hollow. I put on my best shirt, the one Claire bought me for our anniversary. I looked at myself and barely recognized the man in the reflection. I whispered, You can do this. I tucked the invitation in my pocket and tried to steady my hands. Tomorrow, I would face her, and I would finally get the truth. The hotel was bigger than any place I'd ever been. I walked through the lobby with the invitation in my hand and my heart pounding. People in suits and gowns moved all around me. They laughed. They smiled. I just felt like a ghost floating through someone else's life. At the entrance, a woman checked my name. She told me the ceremony was in the garden. I nodded, barely able to speak. I followed the signs. Outside there were white chairs, flowers. Everything looked perfect. Then I saw Claire. She stood near the altar in a white dress, with Marcus. She looked happy, or at least, she wore it well. I stopped at the edge, unsure. Claire turned, spotted me, and froze. She said nothing at first, but she walked straight toward me, tense, quiet, angry. She asked what I was doing there. I raised the invitation. You invited me, I wanted to say, but I already knew she hadn't expected me to show up. She said I shouldn't have come. I asked her if she was afraid I'd ruin her perfect day. She told me to let go, said she'd moved on, told me I should too, but I couldn't. I reminded her. She emptied our account. She vanished. Now she's marrying someone else. I told her I deserved answers. She looked away. Said she never really loved me. Said Marcus could give her the life she wanted. I didn't believe her. I told her that she was lying, scared, running again, just like she always did. She snapped at me, said I didn't know her. But I do. Maybe better than she ever knew me. I asked her, Does Marcus know what you did? She tensed. I kept my voice low. I asked again, Does he know you left me with nothing? She glanced over her shoulder, said I needed to leave now. Before I could say anything else, Marcus showed up. He smiled, asked if everything was okay. Claire forced a smile too, said I was just an old friend. I looked him in the eyes and told him congratulations. He shook my hand, said Claire had told him a lot about me. I almost laughed. I told him she probably left out a few details. He looked confused. Claire grabbed his arm, said the ceremony was about to start. They walked away. But Marcus looked back once, like he wasn't sure of what he'd just seen. I stayed still until a calm voice beside me said, You must be Daniel. I turned. She introduced herself as Marcus's mother, Mrs. Reed. I told her my name. We shook hands. She studied me for a few extra seconds, said I looked troubled. I said, It's a complicated day. Then she leaned in and said something soft. She told me she doesn't trust easily, that she hopes her son knows what he's doing. I met her eyes. Told her I hope so too. I stood there, watching Claire and Marcus pose for photos. She looked back once, but her face said nothing. At that moment, I realized something. She was still running from me, from herself. from the truth. I turned and walked out of the garden, not sure if I felt better or worse. But at least I finally saw her for who she really was. I left the hotel, but I couldn't let it go. I needed to know who Marcus really was and what Claire was hiding. I started searching online, digging through social media, news articles, anything I could find. I found a post from a man named Peter Lawson. His profile picture looked familiar. I messaged him. "Hi Peter. I think we have something in common. Did you know Claire Harper?" He replied almost instantly. "Yeah, she was my wife. Or at least, she pretended to be." My heart pounded. "I'm Daniel. She just left me, emptied our accounts, and now she's marrying someone else." Peter sent his number. "Call me. You need to hear this." I called. His voice was tired. "She did the same thing to me. Took everything, disappeared." I tried to warn people, but no one listened. I asked, "Did you ever get your money back?" He laughed bitterly. "No, she's good at covering her tracks. She changes her name, her story, everything." I told him about Marcus. "She's marrying a guy named Marcus Reed. He has no idea." Peter sighed. "He's her next target. You have to warn him." I hesitated. Would he even believe me? Peter said, "I didn't believe it either, until it happened to me. I wish someone had warned me." I thanked him. "I'm sorry you went through this," he said. "You're not alone, Daniel. She's done this before. She'll do it again." After we hung up, I sat in silence. I needed proof. I hired a private investigator, Ms. Carter. She was sharp, no nonsense. She met me at a coffee shop. I've seen this before. Some people are just predators. I handed her a photo of Claire. "Can you find anything?" She nodded. "Give me a few days." While I waited, I debated what to do. Should I warn Marcus? Should I let karma handle it? Emily called. "You okay?" I told her everything. She listened, then said, "You have to tell him, Daniel. He deserves to know." I sighed. "What if he hates me for it?" she said. "That's not your problem. The truth matters." A few days later, Ms. Carter called. I found records. Claire's used 3 different last names in the past 5 years. Multiple marriages. Multiple bank accounts. She's left a trail. I thanked her. "Can you send me the files?" She emailed everything. I stared at the evidence, feeling sick. I called Peter. "I have proof. I'm going to warn Marcus." He said, "Good luck. I hope he listens." I printed the files and put them in an envelope. My hands shook, but I knew what I had to do. I was done being a victim. It was time for the truth to come out. I stood outside Marcus's office, envelope in hand. My palms were sweaty. I rehearsed what I'd say, but nothing felt right. I walked in and asked the receptionist, "Is Marcus Reed available?" She eyed the envelope. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but it's important. I'm Daniel Harper." She picked up the phone, whispered, then nodded. "He'll see you." Marcus's office was bright, full of awards and photos. He stood up, smiling. "Daniel, right, Claire's ex." I nodded. "I need to talk to you. It's about Claire." He frowned. "If you're here to cause trouble," I shook my head. "I'm not. I just want you to know the truth." I handed him the envelope. "Please read this." He opened it, flipping through the documents. His face changed. "What is this?" "Proof. Claire's done this before. She's left a trail of broken marriages and empty bank accounts." He looked up, angry. "You expect me to believe this?" I met his eyes. I didn't believe it either, until it happened to me, and to Peter Lawson, and probably others. He read more, silent. Finally he said, "Why are you doing this?" "Because I wish someone had warned me." He sat down hard. "She told me you were unstable, that you'd try to ruin her happiness." I shook my head. "She's lying. She lied to me too." He stared at the papers. "I need time to process this." I nodded. "I'm sorry. I know this is a lot." He didn't look up. "You can go." I left the office, my heart pounding. I didn't know if he'd believe me, but I'd done what I could. That night, Emily called. "How did it go?" I told her everything. She was quiet, then said, "You did the right thing." The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Mrs. Reed. "Daniel, this is Marcus's mother. I want to thank you for coming forward." Marcus showed me the documents. We confronted Claire. I held my breath. What happened? She denied everything at first, but when we pressed, she broke down. "The wedding is off. Marcus is devastated, but he'll recover." I closed my eyes. "Thank you for believing me," she sighed. "I always had a bad feeling. I'm sorry for what you went through." I hung up, feeling a strange mix of relief and sadness. Later, I got a text from Marcus. "You were right. I'm sorry for doubting you." "Thank you for saving me from a disaster," I replied. "Take care of yourself." That evening, Claire called. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Her voice was cold. "You ruined everything." I stayed calm. "You did that yourself." She snapped. "You couldn't just let me be happy." I laughed. "You mean let you keep lying? Keep stealing?" She was silent. I said, "You need help, Claire. You can't keep doing this to people." She hung up. Emily came over with pizza. "How do you feel?" I shrugged. "Lighter, but also empty." She smiled. "That's normal. You did what you had to do." I nodded. "I just hope she gets help, and that Marcus moves on." Emily squeezed my hand. "You're stronger than you think." I looked at her. "I don't feel strong," she said. "You are. You faced her. You told the truth." I thought about everything I'd lost. My marriage, my savings, my trust. But I also thought about what I'd gained. Clarity, strength, a sense of justice. That night, I slept for the first time in months without nightmares. Karma had finally come to Claire's doorstep, and I was free. I woke up to sunlight streaming through the window. For the first time in ages, I didn't feel dread. I made coffee, sat at the table, and let myself breathe. Emily called. "How are you holding up?" I smiled. "Better. I actually slept last night." She sounded relieved. "That's progress. Want to come over for dinner?" "Yeah, I'd like that." I spent the day updating my resume. My phone buzzed an email from a marketing firm. They wanted an interview. I texted Emily. "Got a job interview. Maybe things are turning around." She replied with a string of happy emojis. Later, I called Peter. "Hey, just wanted to check in. How are you?" He laughed. "Surviving. I started therapy. It helps." I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. "I'm thinking about it too." He said, "Do it. You won't regret it." That night, I went to Emily's. She made spaghetti. We ate in the backyard, under string lights. She asked, "Do you ever think about Claire?" I shrugged. "Less, every day. I'm trying to focus on what's next." She smiled. "That's all you can do." After dinner, I sat outside, listening to the crickets. I thought about everything I'd lost, but also what I'd learned. The next morning I met Dr. Patel, my new therapist. She was calm, with kind eyes. She asked, "Why are you here, Daniel?" I took a deep breath. "I want to move on. I want to stop feeling like a victim." She nodded. "That's a good place to start." We talked about Claire, about betrayal, about trust. She listened, never judging. She said, "You can't control what others do. You can only control how you heal." I left her office feeling lighter. A week later, I went to my job interview. Jenna, the woman interviewing me, smiled warmly. "Tell me about yourself." I told her the truth. "I've been through a lot, but I'm ready for a fresh start." She nodded. "We all have scars. Sometimes they make us better." I left the interview hopeful. Peter called that night. "How'd it go?" "I think it went well. I'll know soon." He said, "You sound different. Stronger." I smiled. "I feel different." Emily texted, "Proud of you, little brother." I replied, "Thanks for not giving up on me." She sent a heart emoji. A few days later, I got the job. I called Emily first. "I got it," she screamed. "I knew you would." I called Peter next. "I'm officially employed." He laughed. "Drinks on you then." I agreed. "Absolutely." At work, Jenna showed me around. She introduced me to the team. Everyone was friendly. For the first time, I felt like I belonged somewhere. Jenna asked, "How are you settling in?" I grinned. "Better than I expected." She smiled. "Let me know if you need anything." I thanked her. I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, I could be happy again. That night, I sat on my balcony, looking at the city lights. I called Emily. "Thank you for everything." She said, "You did the hard part, Daniel. You kept going." I thought about Peter, about Dr. Patel, about Jenna. I realized I wasn't alone. I was picking up the pieces. And for the first time, I was building something new. A letter arrived in the mail, addressed in Claire's handwriting. I stared at it for a long time before opening it. Inside, her words spilled out. "Daniel, I know you probably hate me. I'm sorry for everything. I never meant to hurt you like this. I was lost. I made terrible choices. I hope you can forgive me someday. Claire." I read it twice, then set it on the table. I didn't feel anger, just a strange, quiet sadness. Emily called that evening. "You okay?" I told her about the letter. She was silent for a moment. "Are you going to write back?" I shook my head, even though she couldn't see me. "No, there's nothing left to say." She said, "That's probably for the best." I sat on the couch, thinking about everything that had happened. The lies, the betrayal, the emptiness. I realized I didn't want revenge. I didn't want to hold on to the pain. I called Dr. Patel. "How do you forgive someone who isn't sorry enough?" She said, "Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. It's letting go of what's holding you back." I nodded. "I want to let go." She said, "Then do it. You're allowed to move forward." That night, I took Claire's letter and put it in a box with the rest of the memories. I closed the lid and set it in the closet. Emily texted me, "Proud of you. You're stronger than you think." I replied, "Thanks, Em. I'm finally starting to believe it." I went to bed feeling lighter. For the first time, I didn't dream about the past. I woke up ready for whatever came next. Months passed. I found a small apartment with big windows and a view of the city. I filled it with secondhand furniture and new hope. My job kept me busy, and Jenna made work feel less lonely. One afternoon, Jenna stopped by my desk. "Want to grab coffee after work?" I smiled. "Yeah, I'd like that." We walked to a cafe down the street. She asked, "How are you really doing?" I thought for a second. "Better. I'm not looking over my shoulder anymore." She nodded. "You seem lighter." I laughed. "I feel lighter. I'm finally moving on." She sipped her coffee. "You deserve it." I looked at her. "So do you." We talked about everything: music, movies, family. She told me about her parents, how she lost her dad last year. I shared stories about my own parents, how I missed them every day. That weekend, I visited their grave for the first time in a long time. I brought flowers and sat in the grass. I whispered, "I'm okay now. I promise I'll live for myself." The wind felt warm on my face. I closed my eyes and let the silence comfort me. Back at work, Jenna and I grew closer. She made me laugh. She listened when I needed to talk. We took things slow. No pressure. No secrets. Emily called one night. "You sound happy." I smiled. "I am. For the first time in a long time." She said, "You deserve it, Daniel. I'm proud of you." I thanked her. "I couldn't have done it without you." She laughed. "You would have found your way. You always do." I hung up and looked around my apartment. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Jenna texted, "Movie night at my place." I replied, "I'll bring popcorn." I realized I wasn't the same person I was before. I was stronger, wiser, free, and for the first time, I was excited for what came next. I heard rumors that Claire had moved to another city. Someone said she was using a new name. I didn't care anymore. Her story was no longer mine. My life was finally my own. I woke up early, made coffee, and watched the sunrise from my window. Jenna was still asleep, curled up on the couch after our movie night. I smiled, feeling a peace I hadn't known in years. Emily called that morning. "Big day, huh?" I laughed. "Yeah, I can't believe it's happening," she teased. "You're actually nervous, aren't you?" I grinned a little, but in a good way. She said, You deserve this, Daniel. I'll see you soon. I got dressed, straightened my tie, and looked in the mirror. I saw a man who had survived heartbreak, betrayal, and loss and come out stronger. Jenna woke up and found me in the kitchen. You ready? I nodded. I've never been more sure of anything. She smiled. Let's do this. We met Emily and Peter at the courthouse. Peter clapped me on the back. Never thought I'd see the day. I grinned. Me neither. Emily hugged Jenna. Welcome to the family. Jenna blushed. Thank you. I'm lucky to have you all. The ceremony was small. Just a few friends, a judge, and the people who mattered most. I held Jenna's hands and looked into her eyes. The judge asked, Do you, Daniel Harper, take Jenna to be your wife? I smiled. I do. Jenna squeezed my hands. I do, too. We exchanged rings. The judge pronounced us husband and wife. Everyone cheered. Afterward, we went to a little restaurant. Emily raised her glass. 2 new beginnings. Peter added, and to leaving the past where it belongs. Jenna leaned over and whispered, Are you happy? I nodded. I am. More than I ever thought possible. She smiled. Me too. Later, I stepped outside for some air. Emily joined me. She said, You did it, Daniel. You really did. I looked at her. I couldn't have done it without you. She shook her head. You did the hard work. I just reminded you who you are. I hugged her. Thank you for never giving up on me. She smiled. That's what sisters are for. Peter came out, hands in his pockets. You know, I never thought I'd trust anyone again. But seeing you too, it gives me hope. I clapped him on the shoulder. We made it, man. He grinned. Yeah, we did. Jenna came outside, her dress catching the sunlight. She took my hand, ready to go home. I nodded. Let's go. We walked back to our apartment, hand in hand. The city felt different, brighter, safer, full of possibility. That night, Jenna curled up beside me. Do you ever think about the past? I thought for a moment. Sometimes, but it doesn't hurt anymore. She kissed my cheek. I'm glad. I looked at her. I promised to never take you for granted. I promised to be honest, always. She smiled. I promised the same. We lay in the quiet, listening to the city outside. I realized that sometimes, losing everything is how you find yourself. Sometimes, the worst endings lead to the best beginnings. I closed my eyes, holding Jenna close. For the first time, I felt whole. And I knew, no matter what happened next, I was finally home.